I will be fanatic about great communication. I will use written and verbal communication that is respectful, timely, truthful, and loving. Before I react, I will ask questions of clarification and understanding. I will seek to listen first and be heard second. I will keep all those involved continuously updated on the status of outstanding issues. And when I think about great communication, I think about the story of FedEx. You guys have heard this story before, but I think it's such a great example. And FedEx did kind of this experiment this one time, and there was a specific type of office that seemed to have very poor customer service scores, and they were trying to figure out what about this office made it had low customer service scores. And so they did a study. And what they found was that when people brought their packages to these stores, they had this leaning tower of packages. The person at the counter would take their package and they would just turn it behind them and put on this leaning tower package. And that made those customers feel uncomfortable about their package being taken care of. And so after trying to figure out how to fix it and everything, they came up with this creative solution. They decided to simply build a wall. So they left the leaning tower packages in place, and the reality was that they had a 99.9% success rate in terms of getting the packages to the right place. So the fear that the customer had was not necessarily founded upon the package not getting to the right place. It was just simply that they gave the package, they saw the package in this tower that's leaning of packages, and they didn't feel confident in where the package would end up. So they built the wall, and then the customers saw the package go behind the wall, and then they felt great, like it was in this magical world of FedEx logistics and was being all taken care of. I think the exact same thing applies to us in our communication, especially with our customers. We need to be effective at communicating the right thing to the customers in the right way at the right time. Sometimes by not communicating anything at all can cause concern. Sometimes communicating too much and getting too much into the details of our business that although it makes sense to us and we understand it, may cause questions and concerns to the customer that they don't need to be worried about. So as you're thinking about communicating, whether it be with the customer or internally, let's think about what's the right thing to communicate in the right way at the right time. And two practical ways to do this that I've talked about with you guys is one, using curiosity, and the other, using candor. There's a natural tendency for people to either, kind of keep to themselves and maybe be passive aggressive in one sense. And then there's also a tendency to people be, overtly aggressive in a situation. And they kind of pull away from each other when all of a sudden there's a conflict. There's this natural pull that goes the opposite direction. And as you'll see on the little picture that I've sent out with curiosity and candor, kind of is what pushes us back together, whereas the tendency to minimize or kind of the passive aggressive or the tendency to win, kind of the aggressive behavior pulling the other direction. And so how that works is curiosity is just simply asking questions. Instead of making statements, this is what it is, ask questions, seek clarification to really understand where's the other person coming from. And then maybe if you're a more passive kind of person, sometimes you need to use some candor. You need to be direct and be specific. Well, this is what I think is the problem. Don't attack the other person, just be specific and direct about the details. So think about those things. Think about how can I use curiosity if maybe I'm more of a win kind of person. How can I use candor if maybe I'm a more of a shy kind of person. And then also think about in that context of how to use say the right things in the right way at the right time to kind of have that FedEx wall to where we effectively communicate with each other and especially with our customers.